Disney.
Without being too blunt, Strange Magic was a difficult one to get through.
Hated it!
It suffers from many things. Its contrived plot soaks up most of the time that we could be spending learning/caring about our characters, whose motivations are unclear, making it difficult to relate to them, as well makes plot points vague and confusing. And their gags and actions constantly undermine the movie's own theme. We've been down the too much stuff, not enough space route a time or two, so we'll just leave the plot at, too much stuff makes me not character. What we do want to focus on is why the characters do what they do and when their whys come about.
Motivation is the first step of character development. It gives our character goals to work towards, something for us to root for. It's also responsible for the transition between who a character is and who they're becoming. Without solid character motivation, plot can be random. You have those moments where you're just like, what's going on? Or, why did she do that? Why is this happening? And all those things can take you out of the story.
We didn't really know what to expect going into this movie, but hey, it's a Disney princess movie. What's the worst that could happen? 30 minutes in, Austin turned to me and said, who's the main character? Which already implies some early onset issues. The easy answer is Marianne, and is a well-supported answer considering the story of focus is the relationship developed between her and Bog. But for the first half of the film, it's a legitimate question. Look at this chart that I spent way too much time making. It shows each character in relation to when they're in the scene. Pink is Fairy-Ann. Look at the lack of pink in this area. And right here, it isn't even about her. It's the Elf Festival that focuses mostly on Rollin, Dawn, and Sunny.
Throughout this whole time, Fairy-Ann has been this independent woman who don't need no man. I mean, that's it. That's the extent of her character. I don't know what she wants. I don't know what her goals are. She's content being a warrior princess. And you know what? So am I. But once upon a time, a character was content. Isn't a story. I mean, she had a story until the whole Rollin fiasco happened and she changed her character on a dime and found balance. Which is why she doesn't feel like the main character at this point. Main characters usually out of balance at this point in the film, and that's why we engage with them. That's why they're interesting to follow. And can we just talk about how drastic her character change was? We just met her, and now she's a completely different character after 12 minutes in a montage, which we think was supposed to represent like several months, but ends up feeling more like a day. Between the 9.5-minute mark and the 41-minute mark, our main character doesn't want anything. So what's going on during that time? Good question, viewer number 256. I give you...
So if we go back to my graph for a cold second, brown here is Eddie from That's So Raven. And as you can see, is the first half of this film. Someone asked me why this is a problem.
Why is that a problem?
Thank you. This character serves and is treated as a lowly plot device, but he is the first half of this film. Contrary to Fairy-Ann, he has motivation, and it's workable motivation, with a hint of social taboo, but you know, let's play it out. 1, he's friend-zoned. 2, decides to force it. 3, gets the love potion. 4, starts the actual story. 5, and 6, reappears at the end getting exactly what he wanted despite any work or really change in their relationship of any kind, and kind of ignoring the intentions behind this.
That is a top-notch arc. His development at the beginning of the film is fine, if he was the main character, which he isn't. And the end reveals how shallow he is when he just kind of gets what he wants without having any change of values, and you feel that. Dawn just gives in. That's upsetting. And in the last 40 minutes of the film, when he does decide to grace us with his presence, he's chasing this imp through the forest for the love potion. Why does the imp have the love potion in the first place?
Ooh, he wants the potion. Loves to spread it around like goblin dung.
Look harder!
What? Never let this imp get that potion.
You're right. Because plot. Because structurally, for us to tell the story that we've spent so long setting up, we need to remove the potion physically from the hands of either kingdom, or else we could easily solve the problem. So add in a nameless third-party character to do that, and subsequently take away more time from the characters who actually matter.
While Eddie from That's So Raven takes up the first half of this film, the Bog King replaces him in the second, who's arguably the best character. Doesn't mean he's a good one, just better. And he does have some solid emotional backstory later on, but at the beginning here, he's evil. He tells us. Now we know. Cool. Why? Doesn't matter. His middle name is Misery. Maybe he doesn't like his middle name. And this is a great example of many of the characters' problems in this film. I'm this stereotype, nothing more. Which is a result of poor writing, sure, but I think a large part of the blame also goes to the songs. Past there being a song every 2 to 3 minutes, the largest oversight in using already written pop songs is that the song's lyrics stamp one-dimensional emotions and motivations onto the characters. Ooh, this part's about how they love each other. Throw a song about love on it. Oh, now she's standing up for herself. Slap a song about that on it. None of these songs suggest any inner depth specific to our characters, just uninteresting, superficial stereotypes.
Later on in the film, the Bog King does get a little bit more depth. We find out that he does want to be with somebody, and him and Pepper Ann have a lot in common. He's got a cute smile, beautiful eyes that are pure as the sea, strong jawline. I mean, he's one trait away from being Frank Sinatra. Oh my God. He's got the voice of an angel.
But how much movie do we have to watch to actually get them just to meet, and then still break up? And remember, their relationship is the movie. The misunderstanding where she played him happens here, at an hour and 15 minutes in the film, which seems pretty reasonable in the context of most like rom-coms. But when do they first meet? Right here, an hour on the dot. So their whole relationship is developed in 15 minutes, a sixth of the film. Do you think I really care about their relationship after 15 minutes in a montage? We'll just answer that for you right quick. I felt nothing.
Our greatest offender of poor character motivation is our actual antagonist, Rollin. From the beginning, it's pretty clear what he wants and how he plans to get it. He wants an army, and then he wants to be king, and Pepper Ann is his ticket. But as the story goes on, his intentions become a little bit more vague. Let's jump to the Elf Festival. So now Moose has been kidnapped, and Fairy Ann jumps in to save her. 1. Although he's previously been shown to be weak and timid, now he steps up to save 2 princesses. Because maybe it'll impress Fairy Ann or something, I don't know. It's a little unclear.
2. Gets the army he wanted the whole time and plans to use it to intimidate the Bog King? Maybe just to hand Moose over? It's a tinge unclear.
3. It works out that Eddie from That's So Raven shows up with the potion. Rollin takes it from him. That seems pretty clear.
4. Leaves his entire army outside. Thank goodness we finally got that army.
5. Previously stating that he's never in fact been to the Dark Forest, he conceives of a plan to use his hench triplets to destroy the entire tree castle on his code word go. Because maybe it'll create a diversion in case he gets caught? I don't know. It's a hair unclear.
6. He wants to do a trade that should work, potion for princess, and should also reveal to Bog King that he indeed has not been played. This is Rollin's section.
Wait! What if his original plan was to get both princesses, then smash the castle, then leave with both princesses and the love potion?
Yeah. They should have made that more clear.
8. Rollin decides to attack Bog because he's getting in the way of all of his plans. Sure, that works.
9. Gains exquisite fighting prowess and fights Bog until Fairy Ann comes in.
10. He's outnumbered, so he grabs Moose and takes her hostage. That's one way to capture a girl's heart. 11. In a bind, so he decides he might as well destroy a castle.
12. Seeing that he was correct in guessing that there would be suspended cages and that they were in fact capable of destroying the entire stump, he seizes the opportunity to capture a distracted Bog and Fairy Ann off guard, ultimately capturing Fairy Ann to go through with his plan of being king. Doesn't work out.
And finally, 13. Comes back, splashes Fairy Ann with the love potion in front of everybody, assuming that they're all going to be okay with the non-consent thing.
So yeah, if you look close enough, sure, you can justify his intentions, but many a times those intentions are poorly constructed, portrayed, or just unknown. The only reason he has an army is to set up the Bog King being played later on, and that becomes clear to us while watching because he doesn't have any use for it. The collapsing castle is so that the movie's intensity can rise to a climactic event, which is flat because we don't know why he decided to destroy it. When motivations are unclear, it not only makes characters less believable, but it also affects the plot, making it confusing and its events lack any weight. How many of you felt any sort of anxiousness knowing that this army was approaching his castle without his knowledge? That whole mushroom gag was to set up that he was unaware of them coming. Who even cares that they're coming? And this poorly executed motivation kills the movie. Pepper Ann values other things higher than finding a man. Do I really care that she's falling for Bog? Moose isn't looking for a real relationship. She likes flirting with Erwan. Do I really believe that out of nowhere she realizes that she wants to pursue a committed relationship with Eddie from That's So Raven? No! The only potentially believable character is Bog, but his story is subjected to so little screen time that his change comes off fast and cheap, which I think is most noticeable in that fight scene where he immediately goes from this flat villain who hates love to starting to fall for Fairy Ann.
The next thing we want to discuss is this guy. I'm not sure that we ever really come to know this character's name, but he does bear a striking resemblance to a certain writer of the film. I'm not sure it's all that important that we get to know this character that much at all. I mean, he is a cameo role. He's probably in like 13 minutes of the film, tops. It's not like he's a vessel by which we come to know what the theme or moral of the story is, right? Wait. He couldn't be. He is the character of change. Oh my god. He's the main character!
No, he's not.
But he is in the film. Why? I mean, sure, he's Pepper Ann and Moose's dad, but he's not a very good one. And when we consider his role in the film, he really just exists to reveal that Mary Ann's an independent woman and she doesn't need any men. And he does that in the most relationally detrimental way possible. Why wasn't he just a good dad? He could have given her the "there's plenty of fish in the sea" speech, but instead he keeps coercing her to go back to an emotionally abusive relationship. I mean, it's possible that a superficiality relates to the fairy kingdom as it pertains to the motif that things aren't always what they seem in this film, but...
Who is this guy? It's really hard to grasp who this character is. He has double standards left and right. I mean, on one hand, he wants his eldest daughter to find love at any cost, while on the other, he's trying to prevent his youngest from finding it at all. And right here, after not being present in the film for the last 40 minutes, he just learns a valuable lesson.
Never judge something, or someone, by how it, or he, or she looks.
Followed promptly by...
An elf.
racism. And this brings up a larger issue. After learning the theme, our view as the audience should be in line with its message, but only moments after it's made clear to us, character gags and actions undermine the theme that love is more than skin deep. For instance, here, after King George wants love from Mary Ann, he doesn't want to look at this makeout fest. And these ending gags bank on our reaction to their being gross. And since King George is the butt of most of these jokes, it really reinforces our distaste towards his character. George. If you're gonna write yourself into a movie, at least let us like you.
So, to sum it up, motivation is the engine that drives the characters.
Choo-choo.
Without it, characters seem flat and wishy-washy, and it's hard to connect. If we don't connect, we don't care. And if we don't care, why are we watching the movie? This movie was clearly expensive. Many incredible artists spent countless hours in the creation of it. From the interesting character designs to the solid animation to my personal favorite part, which was like the layout and the cinematography. It was really cool. But it didn't matter. Without meaningful characters and story, the visual aspects go unnoticed and largely unappreciated. Who wants to stomach their way through this movie again just to appreciate how the shots were composed?
Nice.
Hey guys!
That happened.
Yeah, So Strange Magic.
Not the best Disney princess movie I've seen.
We're making stuff again. Gonna be a lot more consistent this
Got
time.
some surprises coming down the pipeline.
Speaking of surprises, we don't quite want to reveal what our next movie is quite
But
yet.
if you do want a hint, I might be revealing some things on our Instagram, which is a thing.
Nice. You got that working?
Yeah, I remembered our password.
Nice. That was super contrived. Yeah. This is Jeb. All right. Have a good while.